Hello, my friends. It's been a while, and I've got a raspy voice today, but I logged into my podcast account and I hadn't done that in a few months. And I was surprised that there's people listening to prior episodes of mine. And I thought, oh my goodness, maybe it's time for me to get back on the microphone. Uh, I have been absent, I think I just said over a year, and it's not because I don't have anything to talk about. I always have stuff to talk about, but I talk about things with a very, very, very small group of people right now. And when I do have something I want to talk about, I put it on a page in my notebook. I have a planner that I use every day for calendaring and for journaling and everything, and I made it myself. It's a planner and I've got a whole sheet in there. There's like 30 topics. And that isn't even the other sheet of topics I have in an old spreadsheet of things that I like to talk about. These come up naturally for me. These are things that are on my mind and experiences I have. And if I interview with someone, it's because we had a conversation and there's something that comes up. I am not interested in trying to find famous people or to up my numbers. This is something I do for extremely personal reasons. And once I get it out of me, I feel like I can move on and learn something else. And my podcast service also enables me to create a transcript so that I can put these into a book at some point for myself and for a few people that are close to me that might be interested in all of the insights and stories. It's interesting to me that people are listening to old podcast episodes, and a lot of them aren't in the United States. They're all over the world. And I ran in South Korea and Vietnam and India and just different places, which really surprised me. And so for some reason, it motivated me to get on the mic today. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, I'm going to get on. I'm going to talk. And literally within 2 minutes of seeing that, I have connected to my computer. I had the mic right here in a Ziploc bag because I am really professional like that. And figured I'd get on here to talk because sometimes it requires taking quick action to start up something again. And that was very quick action. So I'm coming to you not knowing what I'm going to share with you today, except for the fact that I put a lot of time and energy into the over 200 episodes that I had done in the past. I felt strongly about it. I have felt for a long time in my life that I'm supposed to share insights and stories for whatever reason. For some reason, I thought it would help others have confidence to share their voice. For some reason, I feel like it's important for me to keep a record of my growth journey in life, on my sojourn on this planet. I have felt to create a history of my thoughts and feelings so that my son can access it whenever he likes. And so he doesn't have to go by hearsay of what I think or believe. He can hear it straight from his mom's mouth. And he makes fun of me sometimes and he's like, well, I did a search and I saw move your desk come up. And so he's still in grade school, but he thinks he's 30 years old. And I think a lot of kids in grade school are 30 years old as far as their understandings with some things, because they're just plain exposed to a lot of information in the world. And a lot of them are going through very hard experiences. And my son is no exception. He is being torn in a lot of different directions right now for an extended period of time. And I'll be open. It's not all done. We are in a lot of limbo. It has taken all of the energy of my soul and all of the money and all of the focus and all of the commitment that I can muster to deal with the challenges that I've been dealing with over an extended time, over a year, over 2 years, for many years actually. But it's kind of coming to a head. So I just wanted to get on here and restart and to decide for myself that it's okay, that no time is lost, that I have been learning this whole time some very difficult lessons. And I don't mind sharing some of those with you over the course of the next episodes. A lot of learnings are still in process, but I feel like we're living in a day and age where we need to be open with each other and we need to learn and we need to support each other as we wake up each day and put one foot in front of the other and have faith and hope some days and have despair and despondency in others. And I have experienced it all. As I look at the topics I want to share, I thought I might read some of them to you because these are things that I'm going to be talking about coming up. It'll be a mixture of work, but not so much. A lot of faith, a lot of lessons learned in life, a lot of questioning. And I'm hoping that through that process, I will get connected with some of you and we can learn from each other. Now, some of these scribblings won't make sense to anyone except me, but I'm going to read a couple of them just for the heck of it. The murmurings and the manna. And that's something from Exodus 16 that I wrote down. Living on manna. Halt at the thought, casting out fear. Destructive compassion. Control within it and outside of it. Untethering. No unhallowed hand will stop the work from progressing. The witches are hunting Dorothy. Daily damning. My missionary commission. The deep end of the shallows. Tears. Holy water. Life reviews versus interrogatories. Hearsay. The chicken and egg loop. Proof. Weakness. Mental abuse. Casting out fear. Merely a conduit in an interchange. It doesn't matter how I feel, I will get to work. White lies. Weary of the lies. Unloosed bands. Punished for truth-telling. Willingness to submit. Adam and Eve and pinch me. NDEs, and that means near-death experiences. Nope, I don't do that. Overcoming self. The seething man. Callousing of the compassionate. Wrestling with God. Court and conscience. Word rotisserie. Touch the hem. Brain rot. Zigging on the zag. And of course, there's always going to be something about cookies. These are just some of the thoughts I'd written down. And some of them, I can't even remember the fullness of them. And some of them, when I read some of the words, it immediately triggers something inside of me. And so, as you can tell from that, there's some things that demonstrate that I have been in things in the legal realm. And as a result of that, I have completed a legal certificate for paralegal, not because I will necessarily be a paralegal, but I need to use those skills on a regular basis. And it's in my hip pocket, right? Or in my toolkit. It becomes part of me and something I offer as a service to others, perhaps, or maybe I will do that as a part-time job at some point. But for now, it's just part of my journey. And I've realized that I get certificates when I need to focus and learn something. And that will be happening the rest of my life. And I think there's a lot of interesting changes that have been going on in education for the last 20 years. And of course, a lot of people are cluing in as to how the current education system, at least in the United States, came to be and are starting to go, wait a second, we want control of this now. We want to open our eyes and ears to learning from all the sources out there and being able to make decisions based upon what we learn. And so a lot of insights into that. And of course, I don't come to that without prior knowledge, right? I have a secondary teaching certificate. I've substituted every single grade, almost every single subject in the past. And I do have a master's degree that deals with education and technology. And I know how to manage education at the leadership level. And along the way, most importantly, I have always been involved in children's lives, teenagers' lives, adult lives, and teaching them. And so I've always enjoyed that because it's helped me learn a lot. And so I continue to learn and I'll continue to grow. And I've vowed that I will do that until the day I die. And hopefully that isn't soon. I worry sometimes and I go, oh no, what if something happens to me? And I feel selfish about that. But when you have a child, um, that is something that's both selfish and sacrificial. Hoping you have a chance to raise them and guide them, especially in a world such as ours, where a lot of things are changing at a very rapid pace. So, thank you for listening. I'm back, and I'm going to think very quickly about what episodes come next. And they might be 5 minutes, and they might be 55 minutes. I'm not going to judge how long they're going to be because some things take time to process. And in a world where everyone expects things to be short and brief, sometimes long is okay if we can treat it as a conversation of sorts to think through some things about life. And one of the things that I will say about my experiences in the last couple of years is I have had extended periods of time by myself, which I have had a lot of in my life because I was a single person for many years and I'm a single person again. And it's been very interesting to use that time and to learn how to not be lonely, but to be alone and to learn a lot through that time and to appreciate being invisible to the world and how much learning and growth can take place in that process. So I encourage you, when you have a chance to do so, to take some time alone. When I say alone, I mean without any distractions and see how you are just by yourself. It might be uncomfortable for a little while, but in those moments, there can be a lot of insights. And one of the beautiful parts of my experience is often being in hotels and different places alone, feeling like no one knows where I am or what I'm doing. And yet, out of the blue, I will get a call or a note or a signal that someone is thinking of me. And I cannot deny that there's a higher power in those moments looking out for me. And because of that, it makes me want to look out for others even more, to think about who needs to hear from me today, who needs to hear from someone, who needs a smile, who needs to know that they are not invisible. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people feeling invisible in this world right now. And so for all of these experiences, I am grateful, even though many have been agonizing and unbelievable, excruciating, all the words that you want to use to describe those hard moments in your life. So join me on this journey as I share some of the hard and some of the lessons and continue to learn and grow. And I hope that some of you will reach out to me and share with me your hard and how you work through it and how you're working through it and how you're gaining strength even as you still deal with the challenges. My friends, I'm grateful for those who are listening. I know you could be doing a lot of other things, and I wish you the best today. I know you are loved, protected, and cared for, whether you feel like that or not. So thank you again. Seeing that some people were listening to some things I'd created in the past made me just hop up and do this today. And we'll see where this goes, right? As we go on this journey together. Okay, I hope you have a great week and keep moving your desk.